Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you exactly why women get turned on when you actually sleep with other women. I had a guy write an email to me. I'll put the email down below just in case you guys ever want to use it for the future. Now, I'm only one person. I can't guarantee that I'll get to all of these emails, but if they're good, I'll definitely make videos on it. So a guy types in and he goes, "Girlfriend jokes about me cheating." As soon as I saw this, it definitely sparked my curiosity and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk about this. Now, what I also want to show you is this, because I'm growing a movement, I'm growing a community of men actually coming together. I had a guy type in inside of Headman Nation, our own private community. He goes, "I was afraid to be me." He goes, "The language of women made me realize that it's okay to be a man." And then if you shift your eyes to the bottom of the screen, he goes, "You just unlocked it for me." He goes, "I've had past successes and fails, but never understood why. You make it make sense." Guys, this is why I'm doing this. Because for once, men actually have brotherhood. For once, men are actually seeing the value and the importance in coming together instead of constantly competing. And because of that, that is exactly what motivates me every single day to keep doing this. So let's dive into the email. First, I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to dissect it line by line. He goes, "Hi, Casey. My girlfriend of 3 years always jokes about me seeing other women. For instance, I live by myself, and she stays with me maybe one night a week." He goes, "Last time she came over, she jokingly asked who I had been sleeping with after seeing some girl's hair ties and water bottle next to the side of the bed where she usually sleeps." Now, the funny part about this is he goes, "They were hers that I put there after she left them all over my apartment the previous time she stayed." He goes, "Over time, these jokes about me having multiple girlfriends have become more frequent, and I usually play along to some degree." He goes, "Specifically, they increased last year after I started living on my own instead of with a roommate." He goes, "I feel that her making these jokes has given me some sort of leverage and stems from her and stems from her actual insecurities, but not completely sure what to think." He goes, "Maybe she's trying to satisfy hypergamy, ? Please let me know your thoughts. Thanks." This is a great email, and I'm going to dissect this line by line. This is totally going to transform your dating life if you stick with me until the end. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. Women communicate covertly and indirectly, which means they will typically talk in almost like a hidden meaning to hope that you connect the dots. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to teach you, or that I'm going to show you. Women communicate covertly and indirectly. Number two, women try to satisfy hypergamy by optimizing for what is missing. And number three, women drop hints at what they're missing because they're hoping that you connect the dots to satisfy that hypergamy. So before I dive into this, let's actually dive in one more time to this recap. Number one, women communicate covertly and indirectly. Number two, hypergamy optimizes for what's missing. And number three, she drops hints at you to help you optimize that hypergamy so she stays with you. So when he says my girlfriend of 3 years always jokes about me seeing other women, this is because it turns her on. Okay? Years ago when I was dating a woman, we ended up monogamous for quite some time, but the best desire I obtained in that relationship was when I was actively seeing other women and she knew that. So keep that in mind. When he says my girlfriend always jokes about me seeing other women, that's because she wants you to see other women. Now he says, for instance, I live by myself and she stays with me maybe one night a week. Last time she came over, she jokingly asked who I had been sleeping with after seeing girls' hair ties and water bottles next to the side of the bed where she usually sleeps. And then you go on to say they were hers that I put there after she left them all over my apartment from the previous time that she stayed. Okay, here's what I can tell you about this. My brother and I have both noticed this. You guys saw my brother Cole on a couple episodes or a couple videos back. Me and my brother have both noticed this with women that we've seen. Unanimously. Okay, when we're seeing a woman, if she starts leaving stuff at our house or in our rooms or something like that, it could be hair ties, it could be, hair curlers, anything like that. I've even seen earrings. I've had jewelry left behind. Unanimously, majority of all of the women, what they will typically do is they will make some gesture and they will say, "Oh, whose is this? What other girl are you seeing? Oh, must have been a different girl." They start making these remarks even though they know deep down that they own those pieces of jewelry, or they know that they own the hair curlers, they know that they own all of those things. Even though they know that they're theirs, they will still make those remarks. And my best estimate for why this is not only are they dropping hints at you to satisfy hypergamy that they want you to see other women, but not only that, what they're actually wanting to do is they want to create some sort of imagery or some sort of fantasy or some sort of narrative in their head to give them proof or reasons to justify to themselves why you are pre-selected. So they want to create some sort of narrative or mystery or story in their head where they look at that and they say, well, what if it was from a different girl? Because psychologically, these things slowly actually start to turn them on. This is how you create narrative and story and mystery. So the thing is women will even find ways to boost their own attraction or arousal towards you if need be. But you have to understand this. She is dropping hints and she is dropping clues. The more you start to discover the language of women, the more you start to discover female nature, the more you start to actually see how this plays out, the uncomfortable truth that every man slowly starts to come to terms with is you start to realize the fact that women actually enjoy to some degree, or women oftentimes would prefer to share a man. You start to see that a pre-selected man has all of the options, and you start to see that women actually do not mind sharing him. And in fact, women would prefer to share him. Women want you to have options. Women want to know that you have access to date other women. Women want to know that other women find you attractive. This is what they need to know. They need to see proof. They want to see proof, because what she's looking at this from is a survival standpoint. If you tie this into hypergamy and how women optimize for survival, the dots that you are going to connect is actually going to show you on a deep level. It's actually going to show you that by you having those options, it lets her know that you are a good bet for survival. So what I'm telling you is this: women will create stories, women will create narrative, and women will oftentimes even create fantasy to give them an illusion of the what if factor. What if he's seeing another woman? What if, even though I own this hair tie, or what if, even though I own this piece of jewelry, what if it was a different woman's? Stuff like that turns them on. So down below here, you also say specifically these comments, they tend to increase last year after I started living on my own instead of with a roommate. Yes, and you're going to notice that because that's actually a display of, status, or a display of you leveling up. Now that you're living on your own, it shows that you're able to, it shows that you are more secure, it shows that you have your own space to some degree. What that's going to do is it's going to even create some sort of imagery in her brain potentially where she now says, he's all alone, I don't know what he's doing. He's all alone, what if there's a different woman over? He's all alone, what if now he has easier access to just bring over other people without me knowing? All of these things turns her on. You're also increasing your value over time, so keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to dissect your last statement here. You say, I feel that her making these jokes has given me some sort of leverage and stems from her actual insecurities, but not completely sure what to think. Here's what I can tell you. There may be a little bit of truth to that, but I would even take this one step further, and I would come to terms with the fact that she is probably giving you clues that she wants to know that you're pre-selected. Because what you're going to see over time when you're dating a woman is that the more certainty you give, the lower her desire. The more she knows where you stand, the lower her desire. And the fastest way to lose a woman's interest is by being 100% monogamous, where she knows what you're doing 100% of the time, and she knows that you have no other options. That is the fastest way to make a woman lose interest. So the longer you go down this, path of figuring out how dating works, you're going to slowly start to see that the things that you thought that mattered, personality, we get along, chemistry, everything's so smooth. None of that shit matters. Everything goes right out the window. She is looking for a discrepancy in sexual market value, and she's looking for a man who has status and potentially has access to other options that's generating pre-selection, and that is it. That is what she wants. Women are constantly on a search to find the best man that they possibly can to optimize that hypergamy, and that is why they look for men who are pre-selected by other women. So when you say maybe she's trying to satisfy her hypergamy, yes, she probably is. She's trying to create narrative or imagery in her head if that jewelry was a different woman's. But I also want you to take that one step further and realize that there's probably some truth to that, because deep down she's actually even maybe painting a picture in her head that she wants you to have access to other options. So keep that in mind. If you like this video, I want you to hit the like button, but I also want you to realize one more thing. You have to realize that I cannot keep doing this alone. I actually need you. okay, this is why I created my own community. This is why I created my own brotherhood. This is why I created my own movement. I cannot do this alone. I am only one man. All of these dating truths that I've talked about, all of these views, right, over the years, millions of views, it's great and it sounds cool, but to actually have a real impact, I can't do this by myself. I need you. This is why I created the brotherhood, and this is why I created the community. You have to understand this. I cannot do this alone. I have been at this for years. You guys who've watched me on this channel, you know I've been at this for years. I've been at this every single week for years on end. I literally need your help. So with that said, I want you to go down below. I want you to check out what I made for you, because when I get messages like this, with the message that I showed you earlier, when he goes, I was afraid to be me. The language of women made me realize that it's okay to be a man. Guys, this is why I did this, to finally have the life-changing impact that I've always wanted to actually have. But I came to terms with this, and I actually realized I cannot do this alone. I am only one man. We'll see you on the other side.